Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We've got an exciting packed episode today. We'll be doing a brief GameWeek 30 team review as well as looking at upcoming fixtures. We also look at the GameWeek 31 to GameWeek 34 top player targets. Our main feature for today is how to navigate GameWeek 31 to GameWeek 34. We've got a plan 1 and a plan 2. Finally, we end up with our GameWeek 31 team. Please remember to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. We will really appreciate it. Also feel free to follow us on Twitter at FPL_A+. To warm you up, today's FPL trivia question is as follows. Which forward has the most assists from Game Week 1 until Game Week 30? The three options are Option A, Ollie Watkins, Option B, Brian Mabumo, Option C, Dominic Solanke. Please stay tuned, the answer will be revealed at the end of this video. We carry on with today's Game Week 30 team review. Game Week 30 had some stunning football with some amazing goals scored. However, in terms of FPL points, there was not very many that was on offer. As you can see, our goalkeeper as well as all our defenders, none of them managed a clean sheet. Similarly, in midfield, all our players blanked besides Marcus Rashford, who scored an assist. However, up front, in the forward line is where the points were on offer, and Erling Haaland scored another two stunning goals as he managed 24 points as our captain. Harry Kane also carried on his great recent run of performances with another stunning goal and 9 points, and Ollie Watkins just cannot stop scoring with another goal and 7 points. Overall, our team managed a reasonable 57 points compared to the average of 56 points. This leaves our team currently around the 28,000 mark, which out of more than 11 million FPL managers, we are still quite happy with. And from here onwards, it's how we managed our team into the remaining double game weeks that will make a big difference to our season. This is the FPLA Super League standings currently. In first place, holding on to the top spot, we've got Arnav Garg. Well done, Arnav. In second place, we've got Piyush Singla, who has moved up. Very well done, Piyush. In third place, moving one down, we've got Supramanian. Fourth place, we've got yours truly. Fifth place goes to Dennis Kuswanda. In sixth place, we've got Anderson Moreira dos Santos. In seventh place, we've got Jamie Duncan. Eighth place goes to Niam Rimburi Manuel. Ninth place goes to Levi Orenser. And rounding up the top 10, we've got Afric Williams. Well done to everyone that's in the FPLA Plus top 10. Those that are not yet there but are close by, keep on pushing and your time will come. This is the upcoming fixture schedule that will help you plan going forward. Keep in mind we're currently in Game Week 31. Game Week 31 is a single game week. The main impact that you need to be aware of is that Game Week 32 we've got 4 teams that are blanking, notably Brighton, as you can see in the brown blocks, as well as Chelsea, Manchester City and Manchester United. If you've got any of these players, then you would either need to get rid of them in Game Week 32 or before, or if you are lucky enough to have a chip such as a free hit or even a wild card, then that might be a good idea that you might want to use that in order to field the other playing teams in your team. Another key factor to keep in mind, Game Week 34, it's a massive double game week where you've got a lot of big game week teams that are playing, and those include Manchester United, Manchester City. You've also got the likes of Liverpool and Brighton, and those are probably teams that you would want to target. However, also don't forget to keep in mind that there are some good single game week teams as well, such as Arsenal, who are top of the log currently, and you would want to at least make sure that you are factoring them into your team, as well as Newcastle, who are having a brilliant season as well. Game week 37 is also another big double game week. However, once you've got the planning from Game week 31 to Game week 34, the next planning round that you can consider is basically Game Week 35 to Game Week 38. These are the current Game Week 31 to Game Week 34 top player targets. Number 1, we've got Jack Grealish at 7 million. He's been in sublime form recently. When he joined Manchester City, he seemed to not necessarily be in the best of form. However, he has been in amazing form, attacking down the wing, playing in the middle occasionally as well, hounding defenders, being very active in the attacking line for Manchester City, scoring goals, making assists. He seems to have that form that he was when he was in his Aston Villa days again. He's got Leicester next, then he blanks, has got Arsenal after that, and then he's got a double game week with Fulham and West Ham. Next we've got Mo Salah, the Egyptian king, at 12.8 million. Not much to be said about him, except that he seems to be back in the zone and scoring goals again, Mr. Consistent, and he's got some mouth-watering fixtures. He's got Leeds next, and then Nottingham Forest as well as West Ham, and that is before he's got a double game week of Tottenham Hotspur and Fulham. Next we've got Riyad Mahrez at 7.3 million. He seems to be a Champions League favourite of Pep Guardiola. With Champions League coming up, the only question is whether his minutes will be managed in the Premier League. The next player on the target list is Darwin Núñez. He's one of those very frustrating players, but on his day he can actually smash a team to part. At 8.8 million and with some great fixtures, he is definitely someone that many would target in the double game week. And then we've got Gabriel Martinelli at 6.6 million, probably one of the most, if not the most underpriced attacker in FPL the current season. He's been scoring goals galore and raking in the bonus points, and with Gabriel Jesus back, who he seems to have struck a brilliant partnership in the Arsenal team, you can expect more from him. He's definitely one of the top single game week players out there and in a brilliant run of form. This is our current Game Week 31 team plan. Options. The first option is with regards to Marcus Rashford. If there is news ahead of Game Week 31 that Marcus Rashford either will be starting in Game Week 31 against Nottingham Forest, or he is basically going to be back soon, either on the bench or going to be playing the following week, then we would keep Marcus Rashford, as he has got a good double game week in Game Week 34, and we would not want to waste the transfer. In that particular case, we would be wanting to bring in one of the most informed midfielders that is part of the Manchester City team, and that is Jack Grealish. We would be looking then to transfer out James Maddison, who has not necessarily managed to translate his form on the pitch to FPL points. Leicester have undergone new management, or in the process of appointing a new manager, so they are still a team in transition. So it's a bit of a wait and see to see what happens to the Leicester attack, but they're definitely not at their full potential like we saw James Maddison at the end of last year and in patches at the start of the season. So this would be utilizing the free transfer. Transfer plan number 2. This involves Marcus Rashford being injured. So this would be if there is news that Marcus Rashford's injury is long term and he'll not be back by Game Week 34, or if there is a huge amount of uncertainty around it. In that particular case, we'll be transferring out Marcus Rashford for Jack Grealish, and then we would be transferring out as well James Maddison for Gabriel Martinelli. That'll be for a -4. However, we believe with the form of Grealish and Martinelli, the -4 hit should be paying off in the next week or two. So this is to take advantage of two of the top midfielders for the two top teams in the league currently. Next, we will be revealing our Plan 1 and Plan 2 for Game Week 31 to Game Week 34. On screen you can see two plans. On the left hand side we have got plan number 1. On the right hand side we've got plan number 2. if you look at the difference for game week 31, the main difference involves that plan number 1 has got one transfer, which was the free transfer, which involved James Maddison to Jack Grealish. Plan number 2 involved 2 transfers for a -4, which is Maddison to Grealish and then Rashford to Martinelli. Other than that, the teams are basically the same. This is ultimately dependent on whether there is news on Marcus Rashford coming back from injury quite soon. If he's out for a lengthy period of time, then plan number 2 would probably make more sense. Moving on to game week 32. The plan with game week 32 is to press the free hit button. It's a chip that will work quite well, as most of the teams that blank in game week 32 are players that we have currently in our teams, so that would make sense. Looking at the players that we've actually got, we've mainly got Liverpool players. As you can see, we've got 3 Liverpool players in team number 1, Alexander-Arnold, Gakpo and Salah, as well as Arsenal players, Gabriel, Saka and Martinelli. And then we've also got a full complement of Newcastle players with Pope, Trippier and Isak. And then they are complemented by Kane and Tony. The bench is not really that relevant, but you can spread some of the lower budget options just in case any of your first team players do not pitch up. Then on team number 2, we've got a similar setup, with the main differences being Pope and Gabriel are replaced with Ramsdale and Ricardo, who's a bit of a differential, been very attacking recently. And then in midfield, instead of Gakpo, we have got Bowen, and in the forward line, instead of Isak, we have got Darwin. So that's the main differences. However, game week 32, because it's a free hit, you can still make as much changes as you want ahead of game week 32, so that's not really a major concern at this point in time. Moving on to game week 33, with the current team, the game week 33 team will line up with many good fixtures. The only debate is possibly which goalkeeper do you start, Kepa Arrizabalaga or Raya. They've both got reasonably toughish fixtures at this stage. We're possibly slightly leaning towards Raya, but it's a close call. When you look at your Brentford players, they've got very good fixtures. You look at your Newcastle players, also relatively good fixtures. And then we've got probably one of the matches of the season that could define the Premier League this season. We've got Manchester City and Arsenal players. So that could be quite an interesting game. Harry Kane against Manchester United, he normally has got a good record against them. And then Watkins against Fulham. And then the difference compared to team number 2, it's mainly that you've got an extra Arsenal player with Martinelli instead of March. That's it for game week 33, which there could likely be a rolling of the transfer unless there is any unforeseen injuries or any players that are not starting. Next, we've got game week 34, which is a very exciting double game week. It features a lot of the big teams and could be a massive game week. So a lot of this planning is specifically to make sure that you've got appropriate players to maximize on game week 34. So looking at the plan in terms of plan number 1 on the left hand side, firstly the plan is to take out some of the single game week players and then replace them with some of the more premium double game week players. So what we're looking at is Saka to Salah and Kane to Darwin. Keep in mind we've got 2 free transfers, and then the other option is to take out the goalkeeper Raya and replace him with a double game week goalkeeper in Ederson. So that's the plan that we've got for plan number 1. For plan number 2, we have got something similar. We've got Saka to Salah, and we've got Harry Kane to Darwin, and then we've got Martinelli to Mahrez, and then the final transfer is Raya to Alisson. So this would be though for a -8. And the main reason for this is that we have got a slightly different team initially. We had more single game week players in this team compared to team number 1, and hence why we needed to take the extra transfer to make up the same amount of double game week players. So in essence, team number 1 for plan number 1 ends up with 10 double game week players. The only single game week player is Trippier. Exactly the same with team number 2, ends up with 10 double game week players, with Trippier being the only single game week player. And the reason for keeping him is he's been the top defender, attacking defender, very consistent all season, and he seems to have, at least on paper, a reasonably easy fixture against Southampton and at home. So to summarize the outcome of the team for plan number 1, we've got 3 Manchester City players: Edison in goal, we've got Jack Grealish in midfield, and Erling Haaland as our forward and very likely our captain. We have got 2 Liverpool players, Mo Salah and Darwin Núñez. We have got 3 Brighton players, Solly March, Karim Matoma and Perverse Estupiñán. And we have got 2 Manchester United players in Luke Shaw and Marcus Rashford, assuming both of them are fit when game week 34 comes around. On the bench, should they be required, but most likely not, we've got a solid replacement in our forward line, Ollie Watkins and Sven Botman, as well as Ben Chilwell, with the goalkeeper being Kepa Arrizabalaga, but Edison should most likely start both matches. Then in team number 2, we've got the main difference to team number 1. Instead of Edison and Rashford, we have got Alisson and Mahrez. The rest of the players are exactly the same. So this is quite an exciting team. In total, if you've got 10 double game weekers, that guarantees you 20 fixtures, plus you've got the single game weeker, so that's 21 fixtures. So this could be quite a high scoring game week, especially considering that you've got a lot of premium players that are playing. That's it for this planning for game week 31 to game week 34. Please comment down below which one of the plans do you prefer, plan number 1 on the left hand side or plan number 2 on the right hand side. The current game week 31 team plan is as follows. In goal, we've got Raya from Brentford. In defence, we've got Kieran Trippier from Newcastle. We've also got Perverse Estupiñán from Brighton and Sven Botman from Newcastle. Our midfielders are Bukayo Saka from Arsenal, Jack Grealish from Manchester City, Solly March and Karim Matoma from Brighton. Up front, our 3 forwards are Erling Haaland from Manchester City, Harry Kane from Tottenham Hotspur and Ollie Watkins from Aston Villa. Our current game week 31 team captaincy armband is on Erling Haaland. However, alternative captaincy options could be Harry Kane against Bournemouth or Bukayo Saka against West Ham. The one possible change in our team could potentially see Jack Grealish being replaced with Riyad Mahrez. This could possibly be if we notice a trend in the Champions League match that Manchester City play in the week. The amount of minutes that Grealish gets or Mahrez gets, as Mahrez could potentially have a higher ceiling. However, Jack Grealish has possibly got more likely guaranteed minutes. The other option could also be if there is news on Marcus Rashford. If he is injured long term, then we might potentially consider transferring him out and bringing in someone such as Gabriel Martinelli into our team, who would then replace Solly March, who would then move to the bench. To end off today's episode, we reveal the answer to the FPL trivia question asked earlier. The question was, which forward has the most assists from game week 1 until game week 30? The 3 options were option A, Ollie Watkins, option B, Brian Mbeumo, or option C, Dominic Solanke. Did you get this answer correct? Please comment down below. The answer to this question was Dominic Solanke. Dominic Solanke has a total amount of 7 assists from game week 1 until game week 30. This is followed by Brian Mabumo as well as Ollie Watkins, both with 6 assists. That's it for this game week video. Hope you found it quite useful and interesting. Remember to keep an eye out for team news, especially if you own Marcus Rashford, as well as Champions League team lineups. All the best for game week 31. Wishing you big green arrows. Until next time, cheerio.